My next patron question is from Lamont, who wants me to predict the possible outcome of two movies whose trailers got maybe not the reaction their studios were hoping for. I recently saw the first trailer for the new Cats movie. While I don't care much about the trailer itself, let alone one of Andrew Lloyd Webber's signature Broadway musicals, I have come to find a lot of negative reaction videos of it on YouTube, with many comparing it to the Sonic trailer, which has also garnered lots of criticism, to the point of the blue hedgehog having to be redesigned after the fact. Given the respective trailer reactions and the competition both Cats and Sonic the Hedgehog face on their respective release dates, do you feel both films could still do good business at the box office? Like Lamont said, the initial reactions to these first looks weren't exactly positive, but internet backlash does not always translate to the real world and box office. First, I want to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog. When I saw his design in the trailer, my reaction was more, rather than recoiling in horror. Since his first video game appearance in 1991, Sonic has always looked consistent. Even when translating his design to animated cartoons or 3D games, he has always looked the same. The most radical departure has been the addition of a neckerchief in Sonic Boom. So I actually found it fascinating that the designers of the movie incarnation departed so heavily from Sonic's established appearance. Of course, all that is moot because Paramount and the filmmakers have already announced that Sonic will be redesigned and reanimated. This also led to the film being delayed from November to February, which I think is smart, as it's better to give the animators as much time as possible to alter Sonic rather than force them to complete the movie in a time crunch. Do I think the movie will be a hit? Sonic the Hedgehog remains a recognizable brand, even though his popularity is not quite at the same peak as it was in the 90s, and there's still plenty of nostalgia for the blue blur. It's been proven time and time again that, with the right property, nostalgia can be a major selling point. Throwing in Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik also seems like another way to attract the 90s crowd. The new release date is in an interesting spot, as Sonic is now opening right between two other live-action CG hybrid movies. The week before is Sony's Peter Rabbit 2, the sequel to a very successful family film, and I imagine it'll be contending for a similar audience. The week afterwards is 20th Century Fox's Call of the Wild, directed by Chris Sanders and based on the classic novel by Jack London. Considering the source material, this will be more serious in tone than either of its competition, but it's still worth mentioning. I think if the final design ends up looking more appealing to general audiences, Sonic the Hedgehog will end up doing well, if it manages to attract both the family crowd and those curious to check out Sonic's first big screen movie. I believe the budget is a bit lower than something like Detective Pikachu, so it probably does not need to reach that movie's $431 million total to turn a profit. As for Cats, I've actually watched the trailer multiple times just to analyze what people find off-putting about it. I think plenty are definitely justified in how weirded out they are by these human-cat hybrids. Going this route, rather than just making a fully animated movie, is certainly a curious decision on Tom Hooper's part. My theory on why so many don't like these cats are the noses. They all have regular human noses instead of cat noses, and I wonder why they did that. With that said, the movie is still a number of months away, so there's still time for the visual effects artists to tweak things. And hey, maybe within the context of the movie we'll get used to the world Hooper has created. I'm sure there are already people out there saying nobody asked for this, but the stage version of Cats is the fourth longest running Broadway musical, so there is a built-in audience. Les Miserables and Mamma Mia were hits on both Broadway and film, for example. On the other hand, The Phantom of the Opera holds the record for the most successful Broadway musical, but that did not translate to as many movie tickets. It's also worth mentioning, Cats does not have much of a plot. It's just about these cats who introduce themselves one by one as they try to get reincarnated. That's not a joke. That's really what the show's about. So I wonder what modifications Hooper and screenwriter Lee Hall have done to make the material work on film. Universal is releasing Cats in December, which suggests they have confidence in the movie playing well through Christmas and New Year's. A lot of people have joked about Cats opening the same day as Star Wars, but those films are not competing with one another. Studios like to release big titles in December because movies tend to have great staying power over the holidays. Last December's big movie musical, Mary Poppins Returns, opened the same week as Aquaman, and while the Atlantean superhero easily took the #1 spot, Poppins continued to play well throughout the Christmas season, as did Bumblebee and Into the Spider-Verse. If Cats finds an appreciative audience and picks up some awards nominations, look for it to have good holds. Or it could befall the same fate as the film adaptation of Phantom. Let me know what you think of Sonic and Cats' box office chances. It'll be interesting to return to this video once their theatrical runs are finished. And thank you for your question, Lamond.